Peace and love, everybody. Thank you for joining me on an episode of Bliss. It's been a minute since I've made a video because I was getting into my creative space and really coming back into my element. Here I am. And do this a lot more often. It feels good to be talking in front of the camera again. Today I want to talk about manifestation, manifesting things on a personal level, and understanding that we don't always have to share everything that we're interested in with people, especially if these people don't support us. I know a lot of us introverts are used to growing up in households where we're not welcome, where we're not appreciated, where we're not supported. And talking about these things out loud will automatically get shut down, will automatically be bombarded with all the reasons why we shouldn't do something, why we shouldn't feel confident doing this, why we shouldn't put all our energy into our creative aspects because we need to be able to go get the big job that's going to support the family when they get too old to work, things like that. And it's understanding that if we really want to have something happen in our life, it's best for us to be able to create that space in here, especially for us kids that are really open and dependent on other people's opinions. We're going to be influenced to the point where we could completely shut down our imagination and our paths and our plans for our life. And these types of things really, it's gonna destroy our creative flow. It's gonna destroy our ability to be ingenuitive as we go forward. So it's gonna be important to keep these things on the low, and only share them with people who we trust are going to feed them with nothing but drive, nothing but faith, nothing but trust that we're going to actually get these things done. Now, if it's for the small business move, everything about the small business move is, of course, going to get completely destroyed and battered by people who have been working minimum wage jobs all their life. So it's not like I'm going to go into a fast food restaurant where I work understanding that nobody there, perhaps except for one person who's ambitious, is going to receive my plans for the next expo that I'm going to go serving Organite and purple sea moss and all these things at. I'm not going to be able to tell them about that if I've never done it before. You understand? Like if I'm preparing for the first big move and I don't have enough confidence in myself about doing this, that's not the person for me to share it with. Because if I'm not 100% sure that I'm not going to be able to do something like that, to go out and heal people and to go out and put myself out there, it's the people that have self-doubt. It's the people that haven't overridden the subconscious framework of, that's impossible. I can't do something that I've never experienced before. That type of thing. It's these people that haven't figured out that there's a way to override that we need to stay away from when it comes to sharing things that are usually out of the comfort zone. Because people who don't know how to step out of their comfort zone aren't going to want to see other people step out of their comfort zone. It's the type of thing where you're pulling someone out of the pit, but if that person isn't ready to help themselves out as well, they're going to pull you in. If we have a certain amount of control over our subconscious mind, and of course if we're confident in the scenario working out and you feel like it's not going to affect, go ahead and share it, live by example. But I've found it's best to live by example in the actual action and not even speaking about it beforehand. And we can of course get in the habit, especially when it's family members or close friends that don't support, that we can continue to try to share what's going on, what we're trying to do, what we're working on, what we're trying to accomplish, but that still leaves open the whole point we're connected in this collective consciousness of all these people existing on this plane of reality. That's going to fuck up the collective plane, because whether these people understand it or not, they're still very, very powerfully affecting their reality. And that reality has a certain range. It's their whole entire auric field, and it's more than just 8 feet. It's different, subtler bodies that span and mangle with each other, depending on how close to each other we are. And then there's a whole point of eye contact and what we look at. That's our targeting system for this machine that we're operating right now, our vessel. We need to understand that people's thoughts are, whether they're mindful or not, are very, very, very effective on their reality. So people's doubtful thoughts about you are going to affect your reality. And that was my mistake for a long time growing up. I would keep on putting it in the hands of my family members that doubted me being a musician or an artist, keep on putting it in the hands of people I was going to school with about me being the type of person that I wanted to be. And it seemed to me that growing up like this, I had to be very, the acceptance of others seemed to be way too important to me in order to get the things done that I wanted to get done. And I feel like I've come a very long way. But it's very important to understand exactly who you're putting your baby in the hands of. Because at the end of the day, our imagination is like our children. What we create is, like, as creators, is the most important things we could possibly do in our lives. Because that whole God mode, the whole point of understanding that we are of God and we are to operate as gods, experiencing God experiencing himself through all of us individually but simultaneously. That would be pointless if we never created anything ourselves. That's the sub-creation. We are the sub-creators of the creator. So creation, as we create it, should be and is the most precious thing to us. All of us, especially the ones who have been honing in our creative craft as long as we've known how to, as long as we've had the ability to. That should be, and most likely is, the most important quality to these types of people like us. So we need to be able to isolate that, nurture that, incubate that in a way that it will only grow in the best way possible, the way that we would like to see it happen when we first had that spark, that image in our head of what we wanted to create in the first place. We're like, oh damn, that's gonna look, I gotta make that. We gotta make sure that happens. Now, of course, delving deeper and deeper into these quantum spaces, we can learn how we can be unaffected by these people's thoughts, but it still causes stagnant energy. And since we're all really, really powerful empaths, and most of us don't understand that yet, but a lot of us are waking up to it. We're very, very powerful empaths. This is just a way to make it easier, less molasses, less thick energy for us to move through while we're on our path to the ultimate evolution of what we want our being to be in this lifetime. Is this personal manifestation. Now, if you've got friends, if you've got really tight people that you don't have any doubts about, they don't have any doubts about you about, these are the people you need to tell. And these are the people you need to say, okay, now this is something I'm manifesting on. Be clear. If you really need to share, don't share it out of desire for acceptance, desire of appreciation, desire for people to understand, or just to override someone else's doubts about you. None of that should matter, because it doesn't. But these people that do matter, you just be clear. This is what I'm manifesting. This is what it's going to look like. I need you to envision this with me. Since I am choosing to let you in on my train, this is how it's going to come out. And I have no doubts about that, so you should not either. That's why I told you about this. And when you got that manifesting team, because when you find a soul family, you're going to find that the soul family has as much manifesting powers as you. And coming to terms with that and coming into awareness about that together, you can hone in on that, pack down on that, act on that together. Because that is a power, that is a ability that most people take for granted because they don't even realize it, they don't even know about it. So, that's that. Respect yourself, love yourself to the point where you won't put your own success on the line in such a way that your own creative aspirations will suffer. Because I hope that the people tuning into this are ambitious innovators that want to be able to do it on their own, be their own boss, not have to be so indulged in the matrix to the point where they feel like they're choked, where they feel like they can't express themselves the way they want to express themselves because the world feels like it's like they're barring them down so that they can't move if you feel constricted. I hope that if you're one of those people, you're still watching this. I hope that if you are an entrepreneur and you already have your own business, you're watching this, because this is for everybody. And the imagination is the most held back thing in this entire society, as I have observed, as I've coming more into myself. And that's something I can't have. Because imagination is the most valuable thing to me. So take this and do what you will with it. Appreciate anybody who's tuning in. If you haven't entered my giveaway on Instagram, I'm also leaving it open on YouTube. You have until November 22nd to enter. Hold on, let me show you what we gave away. What we're giving away is this blue apatite with Lemurian laser quartz and Uruguay amethyst and a little seed of life solder creation I've done with some copper, all copper wrapped. All right. Now, this is really good for transmuting energy. It's primarily a throat chakra stone, blue apatite is, and secondary third eye stone. Really good for Akashic access, really good for lucid dreaming, astral projection, really good for creative expression, tapping into that creative flow. It was inspired by the Scorpio new moon into the Taurus full moon energy this season, and just wanted to really dive into this. So anyone who's interested in this energy, all you have to do is tap the link to my Instagram. It's going to be in the description below. You can go in there and click on the post that shows this and enter as many times as you want. Giveaway ends November 22nd. Anybody looking at this a year ahead, this is 2019. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, that's it. That's it. So peace and love, my beautiful family. Thank you for tuning in. We'll be making more very soon. Peace and love.